Speed Weeks 2010 is underway at the Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing. The sport's best drivers tonight will find out where they will start the season opening Budweiser Shootout. The Budweiser Shootout selection show last year, Paul Menard started from the pole, Kevin Harvick deep in 27th. No worries, driver number 29 drove to victory lane, and the big paycheck for winning the Budweiser Shootout, the start to Speed Weeks 2010. And hi everybody, I'm Steve Burns, glad that Speed Weeks is underway, glad that you guys are with us here. Beautiful weather, the king just arrived, Kenny Wallace. Are you all ready for the Budweiser Shootout? Yeah! Kenny, no pun intended, buddy. There's a lot of horsepower in this field. The way these guys are in is much different for 2010. Let's take a look at how they have qualified for the Budweiser Shootout and the format. 2 segments, 25 and 50 laps with a 10-minute break in between. Crews can make routine adjustments to the race cars. The race must end under a green flag, so that's going to be wild. So those eligible for this big all-star event, all 12 drivers who made the 2009 Sprint Cup Chase, past NASCAR champions, past Budweiser Shootout champions, and past winners of the Daytona 500 and Coke Zero 400, and of course, the Ray Bestest Rookie of the Year. So, Kenny Wallace, this kicks it off, the first on-track competition for the NASCAR season in 2010.
And I know one thing, if you're in this, you are somebody. But if you're somebody, you have to be ready to run the Bud Shootout because you're going to get 75 laps on this famous racetrack way before your other competitors. There are other drivers inside the garage area going, gosh, I wish I was in that Bud Shootout. So they're going to get 75 action-packed laps on this racetrack before anybody.
And what did NASCAR say in the offseason? The gloves are off. It's back to basics.
Race fans, listen to this. Last month, NASCAR said, you know what? Do what you want to do now. We're going back to the old rules. Well, now all these teams are going back to Charlotte, North Carolina to get their backup cars because of this incredible wreck. And look at this. This happened in the second practice session.
Two practices today, 30 minutes into the first practice, and we're already emotionally spent. But we are going to find out tonight, Kenny Wallace, where all these 24 drivers will start. Also in our field tonight, our good buddy, Rutledge Wood.
Hey, Steve, thanks, buddy. I'm back here. The stars of NASCAR are alive. I'm sitting between Mark Martin and Juan Pablo Montoya, and I wish I could tell you all the great things we're talking about, but you're going to have to wait for the rest of the show, especially if Juan keeps making fun of my shoes. So stay tuned. I'll be back here all night getting all the good stuff with these guys. And Juan, honestly, if you want to wear them on stage, that's fine. Just don't feel like you have to make fun of me. We got a lot more coming up with you guys.
Juan Pablo Montoya won't be the only one. Those are
Juan
original.
Pablo Montoya. Juan Pablo Montoya from Bogota, Colombia. I like watching him race.
Well, we're going to meet Juan Pablo Montoya and the other 23 drivers when we come back to the World Center of Racing. Great fans here at Daytona and some of our friends, VIPs from Budweiser, joining Kenny Wallace and I on the stage. Stay with us here on Speed. The Budweiser Shootout Selection Show continues.
The Budweiser Shootout Selection Show is presented by Budweiser. With full flavor and a crisp, clean finish, it's what we do. Brought to you in part by Dish Network. Why would you ever pay more for TV? And by Toyota, moving forward.
The Budweiser Shootout Selection Show continues here on Speed from the Daytona International Speedway. Beautiful weather here in Daytona. We're going to meet our drivers in small groups. It's a good way to meet the drivers. Let's meet our first three. They're all teammates from Hendrick Motorsports.
And Jimmy Johnson indeed makes history tonight and claimed his 4th consecutive Sprint Cup Series championship.
The checkered flag for Mark Martin as he will win the Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. He came in the points leader. He will leave the points leader.
Pop the champagne, Jeff Gordon. The losing drought is over. Gordon wins for the first time at Texas Motor Speedway.
And what a great 2009 season it was for these teammates as they finished 1, 2, 3. Jimmy Johnson wins his 4th consecutive NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, and all three of these drivers have won races in the Budweiser Shootout. Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, welcome. Glad you're with us as the season kicks off. Jimmy Johnson, it's already been wild.
Yes, it has been wild. Do I need to talk into this thing? Can you hear me?
We hear you great.
You can hear me? Good. Yes, it has been wild.
Before we talk about...
Thankfully, our car is straight. Unfortunately, his is not.
Hey, before we talk about racing, tell us about your off-season, Mr. HBO.
Well, yeah, it's been exciting. We've had the HBO crew following us 24/7. It's been great. So all is well. We're having fun with it.
Well, Jimmy, come on up. We're going to find out where you start Saturday night shootout.
Here you go, Jimmy. Hey, Kelly's waiting to see you. All these girls have been wanting to hold you, and now they get to. So it's been an awesome off-season, and there's some big news that's been in the news all over the United States. 4-time champion Jimmy Johnson and your wife have a baby on the way.
We do. We're excited. Thank you. We're just excited for what the future is going to be like. We have no clue what that is, but we're excited for it. And she had a tough bout with morning sickness, and thankfully that's behind. It was really all day sickness. I'm not sure it was just to the morning, but things are well.
All right, here we go. First race of the year, the Bud Shootout. Pick your bottle up, give it to Kelly. Well, what are you thinking now? There's already pressure, isn't there?
I always pull a bad one, so why don't you help me out?
Oh, gosh, me? How about Kelly? Ladies' luck. Kelly, here you go. Lady luck. That's what they say in Vegas, baby. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Pick one. Okay, she's going to pop the top. Pop the top again. All right. Then hand it to Jimmy. All right, here we go.
16.
16. Hey, now listen.
I pulled like 25 and stuff, so this is good.
All I know is the guy that won last year, I think, started last. All right, buddy.
Thank you.
16.
Well, Mark Martin, as Jimmy alluded to, kind of a rough start, just 30 minutes into practice today, and your race car was torn up.
It was, and I hate it for our race team that puts so much work into that beauty, but they're bringing another one out that's just as pretty. So it's really another really nice race car, and it's going to be a wild show Saturday night.
Come on up and let's find out where you're going to start.
All right, Mark. They had to bring you out of retirement to give Jimmy Johnson some competition. How about last year? I mean, you gave him a run for your money.
Well, I was really proud of the fact that we were the only ones that had a shot at it going into Homestead, but it was still a long shot. We didn't get it done, but we had a great year, and I have to get the biggest trophy for having fun. There's no way anybody had more fun than I did.
You know what? We were at Mark Pick Your Bottle. We went to Macon Speedway, and I said, Mark, you're excited. He says, because I'm driving a fast race car, right, Mark?
A really fast race car.
All right,
so
here we go. It's exciting.
It's pretty and green, so GoDaddy.com.
What do we got, Mark? Whoa, 6. That was your number. That's a familiar number.
That's pretty cool. I always draw in the back.